Some things are impossible to know, but it is impossible to know these things.
Hello, good day, and welcome to
Paul Schindler. Podcast on things is here for you.
Not surprisingly, I'm your host, Paul Schindler. Thank you for listening. First Amendment. After last week's orders from His Royal Highness Donald I to imprison and execute several members of Congress without trial for something they said, I've moved the First Amendment doomsday clock from 10 minutes to midnight to 5. Trump also wants to take over CNN. More mush from the wimp or serious policy? If he actually does either, the clock goes... let me read that again. If he actually does either, the clock goes to 45 seconds. Gratitude and thanksgiving. I give thanks for my health and my family. I'm also grateful to have so many wonderful people in my life. I'm grateful to be useful to my family and others. Turns out service is a love language. I am grateful for the love I get and the loving kindness I am now obliged to give everyone since my heart chakra opened. If you feel that life has been dealing to you from the bottom of the deck, I recommend the practice of keeping a gratitude journal. Write down one or two things each day for which you are grateful, big or small, serious or silly. It can be an interesting and rewarding activity. Me, I'm grateful for everything: family, career, health, writing, music, another beautiful day, and one more chance to set foot on this good green earth. Happy Thanksgiving! The 9:30 Club. Now, roughly 150 of you show up for this carnival every week. Statistics say most of you read the column before noon on Monday after seeing the posting notice in your box at a reasonable hour. Now, I think it's fair to say that very few of you notice that my column and podcast are posted on Sunday at 9:30 p.m. Pacific. Shock? I do not write the whole column on Sunday night. I consider it a column, not a blog, so I do all my posts for the week at once. Now, only a few of you are members of the exclusive 9:30 Club. By comparison, the Saturday Night Live 5-Timers Club only has 47 members, but there are only 5 members of the 9:30 Club. Club members open my site at 9:30 Pacific, 12:30 a.m. Eastern, and read the column. I have to say to you, your interest flatters me. All the members are longtime friends, 2 lawyers, 2 beloved former bosses, a colleague from the tech, or are former journalists. Thanks to you, the 9:30 Club, before bed on Sunday night, I know my errors, dead links, and omitted words, not to mention mistakes in German. Thus, a few stealth edits before the crowds flood in. As a result, technically at least, the column looks pretty good. As my UPI editor Don Davis used to say, anyone who edits their own copy has a fool for an editor. I have the 9:30 Club to thank for kind attention and careful eyes. Correct me if I'm wrong. There used to be something called search engine let me read that again. There used to be something called search engine optimization. Since AI has taken over the search function, except for those of us who don't trust it, the right-wing nut jobs have mastered AI engine optimization in order to bury actual news. The morning after once again, I'm sorry, I'll read that again. The morning after Trump threatened to arrest and execute members of Congress, the AI search on DuckDuckGo said effectively, "Nothing to see here, move along." A few hours later, the answer improved, but the first answer indicates some AI-assisted searches lean right. To paraphrase an old cheer, AI searches don't lean to the left, they lean to the right. Come on, patriots, fight, fight, fight. I'm sure most of you remember the original. This week's walk-off music is a tiptoe through the ocean of my musical output.
I had so much true love to give. I think it was for that I lived. I just better let it all flow. But it seems it scared some when it showed. You're the only man who's man enough to bask in my love. It's true, I was just born that way. Love flows from me night and day. I thought the boys would be so impressed, and yet some felt me too obsessed. When I was young, sentimental, love for me was instrumental. My love for all was reflected. That was what I then expected. You're the only man who's man enough to bask in my love. When I grew up to have lovers, that's when I found out that some others, some boys, they just cannot fake it. When love flows, they cannot take it. I found one boy, push come to shove, not run when shown my love. Turns out it was easy to do. Guess what, boy? That boy was you. You're the only man who's man enough to bask in my. You're the only man who's man enough to bask in my. You're the only man to bask in my love, to bask in my love, to bask in my love.
Charge up your flux capacitors and hold on for a ride to February 1972. The new Eugene Organ Show was taped in front of a dozen people in a live-ish audience for broadcast on MIT's WTBS FM radio. We take you now to room 9150.
I want to talk to you about doctors tonight. I went to see my doctor the other day, and he tested me for a few allergies. The last test was a real Lulu. He strapped a burning match to my chin, and when my skin started to blister, he told me I was allergic to fire. Actually, I told him that it hurt when I moved my arm like this, so he said, "Don't do that." I've had every disease in the book. Unfortunately, the book that I'm talking about is Everything You Always Wanted to Know About Sex, but Were Afraid to Ask. I have a lot of problems. You know, I was chosen poster boy for National Obesity Week last year. Now, being fat has its bad aspects. And if you've ever had your aspects, you know how bad it can be. Also, you know, my teeth are in really bad shape. But I hate to see my dentist. I mean, my dentist is a real clown. You may have heard of him, Dr. Bozo. He can be really unnerving. Every time I go in, he starts humming, "Oh, the Yanks are coming," when you walk in.
Slow on that one, Paul. Just slow.
Great audience tonight. He says things like, "Be true to your teeth," or they'll be false to you. But I got back at him. One day he told me, "You haven't got any cavities," and I said, "That's all right, drill anyway, I feel lucky today." Well, I better go before I come down with a case of something, like a case of Johnny Walker Red.